Too loud?
This will get your attention if the rain and thunder didn't. But like I usually start all of our employee meetings here at the hospital, isn't it a great day to be alive, be in America, and be at St. Genevieve County Memorial Hospital? I know the rain isn't exactly what we were hoping for. I know that we have, we're approaching 100 riders, and that's really a tribute to all of you in our effort today to raise money for cancer. It is just amazing how this event has come together. And I know Bernie Bader, I can't say enough about your efforts in making this happen, because it was about a year ago that Bernie came to me and said, I'm raising money to go up to St. Louis to do a bike ride. And I said, well, Bernie, do you know all the special things that are happening here in St. Jim as it relates to cancer care and research? And he said, you know, I really don't. He said, there's so many people in our community that are impacted, and I think we all share a passion for someday we hope that cancer will be eliminated. And Bernie said, why don't we do something in St. Jim? We can put this together. We can make something happen. After listening to all the good things that are happening here, he said, our money should be here supporting Dr. Liss and his efforts. So, Bernie, because of you, we're here today. So thank you. I know there's been a lot of fundraising efforts, and as of yesterday, I know we went over the $16,000 mark for this effort, and this just based upon the participation and the support we're seeing. Obviously, this is our first annual event for Ride to Survive to support the Alan P. Liss Center for Cancer Care and Research. So we're very happy to do that. I know that we're going to try to get this race going about 9:30. So we do have some things that we want to go through this morning and just make sure that you understand why we are here and the efforts that are being made. About 20 years ago, this community was very blessed when Dr. Alan Liss came here. You know, I think those of you that have had the opportunity to meet Dr. Liss know what a special, compassionate, and passionate, not only physician, but man, has been for people in our community that have gone through cancer. And we are just very honored to have him here with us, and he is our honorary co-chair of this event. And Dr. Liss, I want to bring you up and let you say some words, because you're the reason that we are here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keim. I am very humbled to be with you today. We do, in fact, have a very special oncology program here in St. Genevieve, led by Sandy Shilley and a fabulous staff. You rely on them for excellent cancer care. I rely on them for lots of advice, including advice about how I should focus my remarks this morning. And Sandy instructed me to try to take a page out of the playbook of Representative Anthony Weiner in my remarks. What Representative Weiner taught us is that it's possible to talk too much. It's possible to provide images that are just too graphic. And it's possible to be dishonest. And if you do all of those things, even your very best friends and supporters are going to detest you. And so with that background, I'm going to speak very briefly. I'm going to be completely honest. And the images that I'm going to evoke are going to be completely wholesome. Okay? And with that background, what I can tell you is that I'm deeply honored to be the honorary chair of the first annual, the inaugural Ride to Survive here in St. Genevieve. A bike ride is actually a very fitting metaphor for the journey associated with cancer in many, many ways. Because if you think about it, the riders who are going to go out there, every pedal will be a little arduous. There are going to be rolling hills, there are going to be undulating curves, there's going to be a winding path, and that really is a metaphor for what happens with the journey associated with cancer. And it's not all going to be easy, just as it isn't with cancer. There are going to be some hills, there are going to be some treacherous parts. It's going to take some hard work, just as the cancer journey does. But there'll also be some smooth parts. and we'll all be together, which is also an important metaphor for what we do with cancer. There's another very important thing that every bike rider can tell you, and that is that you kind of don't realize it, but then you look back and you see how far you've come. And that's the same thing with the cancer journey. We've come a tremendous difference. I've been here almost 20 years, and we've come a great distance in terms of where we were then and where we are now. There are people who are alive today who would not have been alive even a few years ago because of progress in cancer research. People are living better in terms of the symptoms that they're having connected with their cancer, and there's no question that they're living longer. So we have come a great distance, and it's because of progress in cancer research. Now there's another way in which the ride that we're about to embark on is a very fitting symbol for what we do in the cancer area, and that is that some of you, in fact I've spoken with some of you, are very fearful about going on this ride. And cancer patients, as you probably know, are fearful as well before they embark on their ride. And cancer patients have a number of fears that are very intuitive. You know them. The fear of death, the fear of disability, the fear of being a burden to their family members, the fear of pain. Those are the things every cancer patient fears. But cancer patients in rural areas have very special fears. And if you take nothing else away from the remarks that I mentioned this morning, I hope you'll remember this. There are 3 special fears associated with being a cancer patient in a rural area. And one is the fear of disorganized care. The other is the fear of being an unnecessary burden to one's loved ones and family members. And the third special fear is the fear of getting yesterday's treatment. That's what cancer patients in rural areas fear. And fortunately, in St. Genevieve, Missouri, our patients do not have to fear any of those things. Sandy and her program have been in existence for about 20 years now. We know how to do this. We know how to communicate with one another. We know how to communicate with the other places where patients may be getting their care. Dr. Shafkat and I are connected via the internet with the electronic health record here in St. Genevieve. Sandy and her staff are connected with the electronic health record in the BJC health system. We use every modern electronic implement to communicate with one another. Email, text messaging, phone calls, and as any of the magnificent medical staff in St. Genevieve can tell you, when they call in St. Louis, we take their calls first. We try to be sure that care is as coordinated as it possibly can be, and I think we do a very, very good job of that. With regard to the fear of being an unnecessary burden for loved ones, that's another thing that Sandy and her wonderful staff, and Brandy and the social work staff have taken great care to do. And in some ways, I'm not going to tell you anything you don't already know. In St. Louis, our patients are our patients, and we try to understand their lives as well as we possibly can, but St. Louis is a very big community. St. Genevieve is a much more modest-sized community. Not only are you the patients of the staff members here, but you're their family members. You're their church members. You're their school board members. You're the people that their kids grew up with. And they try to take care of the needs of patients, not only their medical needs, but also their psychosocial and interpersonal needs and their financial needs. We try to do everything we can. Of course, we fall down on the job sometimes, but it's not for lack of trying. And so Sandy and her staff can really help a great deal in terms of easing that mental burden associated with the idea of having one's care become burdensome. With regard to the issue of receiving yesterday's therapy, that's the thing I like talking about the most, because that also is not a fear that patients in St. Genevieve need to have. This community has been remarkable in its support of cancer research. You're completely aligned with Heartland Cancer Research, our National Cancer Institute-sponsored designated community clinical oncology program. You are completely able to participate in the newest, most innovative cancer research studies. But in addition, organizations in this community, like the Friends Group, the Women's Auxiliary, the VFW, and today's major sponsor, the Mississippi Lime Company, have been very generous in supporting cancer research with their financial contributions. There's another way in which this community has been supportive of cancer research, and even a more important way, in my view, and that is that your patients volunteer to receive the newer therapies on cancer research studies. It's a very courageous commitment that they make, and you are fully engaged in that in this community. And it's important to be engaged in that. You are on a national stage. Your patients are not only improving their own care, their own treatment, but they're also transforming the way in which cancer is being conducted around the country, cancer treatment and cancer prevention. And it's really important to be on that stage. It's really important to have a place at that national table because, as you know very well, resources are limited in this country right now. There are 8.5 rural Americans who lack health care insurance, and you want to be at that table when resources are being allocated because, as I'm sure you know, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, okay? And you'll want to be at the table, and you are. So we're very, very proud of that. I'm also proud of the fact that my coworkers and my family and our friends came down from St. Louis to be part of this ride today. Dr. Shafkat and I are very pleased to be part of this medical community. And in a few minutes, we're going to focus our attention on riding bicycles along a course. But starting right afterwards, I promise you, we're going to refocus our attention on cancer research and cancer progress. And we're very proud to be part of that journey with you as well. So thank you for all of your support, and let's get out and ride.
We have an official race shirt.
Oh, wow. They don't have a race shirt. Thank you so much.
I think you can see why about 4 years ago we made a special commitment to Dr. Liss and renamed our cancer center here in the hospital after him. What a wonderful, you've heard what he's doing and what he's brought to St. Genevieve. So again, thank you very much for that. As Dr. Liss said, that we did have tremendous support throughout the community, and we'd like to take a moment now to recognize some of the contributions. And excuse me, Mississippi Lime was a big contributor and really got behind this. And like I told you earlier, Bernie Bader really stepped up. I'm looking for Bob Roth. Is Bob here? Well, Bernie, you're going to have to come up. We have something special to give to you and Mississippi Lime for your contributions.
This is pretty cool.
This is a partnership award and presented to Mississippi Lime for their care and compassion and support of our cancer research center. So Bernie, on behalf of the hospital, French Foundation, Dr. Liss, our family here, thank you. Mississippi Lime, with just many supporters of the event, we'd also like to recognize, and we will be sending out certificates, framed certificates, to many sponsors that helped us achieve our goal of exceeding 15,000. We went over the 16,000 mark. But I'd like to give special recognition to Save a Lot, First Bank, Rottler and Holzkamp, Valley Schools, Mid-America Rehab, Donzi Communication, Mike DeCola, Don Roberts, Bill Ayers, Linda Weiler, who is a hospital employee, and she shaved her head to raise money for cancer research. We also had the Edgar Meyer family, Rowena Wiener, the Jim Donovan family, Dan Meyer, the list keeps going, Herzog Construction, and the Rotary Club of St. Genevieve. So I'd like to give them special thanks for their contribution. And then we have just an outpouring support of just community leaders. I'd like to recognize Joe Fowler, state rep, joined us here this morning. He's Mayor Grangerson, thank you for coming out this morning. I do also want to thank our board chair, Rod Sher. Rod, been here 25 years in the state. Many of the changes that have taken place, and he himself is a cancer survivor. So, Rod, thank you. And then, of course, our Friends Foundation. We have many board members from the Friends Foundation, and I'd like to just give them special thanks. Our chair, Diana Weber. Larry Drury. Larry, thank you. Jody Udy, one of our newest members to our foundation board. Vicki Winkler. Where's Vicki? Debbie Donzie. And I don't think I left out. I was trying to pick them up as they came in. But again, our Friends Foundation provides us a lot of support for the additional things that we're able to bring to our community that make this such a special place. So with that, before we end, I would like to turn it over to Bernie Bader just to kind of give you a layout for the race. That's why you're here. But I do thank you for joining us. I appreciate you coming out on such a less than perfect day. But once we get out there, it will be nice. And Bernie, I'll let you tell them all about this.
No, I appreciate everybody coming out. I wish the weather could be better, but we got to take what we can take. Whenever we leave, you go out on Pine to Park to Rozier. The streets at the intersections at 32 and 61 will be closed so we can all go through. The police and sheriff and state patrols. The 15-milers will go straight on them. The 8-milers make a left on 61. Signs are up. Pretty good, Greg? Okay, back up. All right. The signs are taken care of. There's water stations, one's at Mississippi Line Park. Just go out and have fun, and hopefully the rain will stay away for a while. So we'll be leaving in about 5-10 minutes when I call the crew. Thank you.
One other thing, and I forgot to mention this, and I do apologize. I need to really thank our hospital employees, and I should have thanked them right off the bat, because I've said it to them many times that we have the greatest group of employees that have the care and compassion that, regardless of what we do at this facility to add in new equipment and revitalize who we are on the outside, it's really our people that make a difference. And this event, I know, was a new event for us. I know it took a lot of coordinated effort on the behalf of our foundation director, Lauren Moore, Tina, Steph, Tom, Denise, the marketing department, Sandy Shilley. I could go on and on with the people that really put forth a lot of effort, and I'm going to leave out people, but I think the employees know that we do really appreciate the amount of time and support that they give to this facility, not in terms of being here to work every day, but they truly give with their heart and their pocketbooks when it comes to supporting this hospital. So again, thank you to our hospital employees. We appreciate what you do day in and day out.